Hello, Ryan Tate here from ryanbillytate.com. Today I wanted to talk in this video about sales. I've worked in many different roles ranging from car sales to real estate and all sorts of different jobs in between, selling computers, phones, all sorts of different roles that are sales related. So I just wanted to touch base and talk about that and give on some of that information. So if you're in a sales role, building a relationship is very, very important. People generally have a fear of salespeople. They put up a barrier or defense when they're dealing with them. So often they'll say, I'm just looking, I'm not interested, I haven't got time, money, whatever it might be, whatever that sort of false negative might be. Often they've come to you for a reason, they're wanting a solution. So to get that barrier down, then you can actually build a relationship and talk to them about what they're wanting to achieve. So I've just got to be wary. I'm actually in a sales role at the moment, so I might stand here a bit so I can actually see if anyone does walk in. But so one of the tips that was quite good, if you're on, say, a sales floor or something like that, and a customer walks in and you're wanting to head over to them and talk to them, you can do what's called the 180 pass by. So instead of sort of rubbing your hands together, walking straight over to them and saying, oh, a customer, and they're like, oh God, here they come, and they're already thinking I'm going to say, look, just looking, thanks, or I'm not buying today, or something like that. If you do the 180 pass by, have something in your hands is a bit of a tip too. So you can have a clipboard, a bit of merchandise or something like that in your hands, even a pen or something like that. Walk out with intent, like you're actually doing something, not crossing their path. Go out to, say, as an example, a table or a display. Do something. On your way over there, as you get close, and before you've passed them, try and make eye contact as well and just say good morning or good afternoon, greet them. Leave it at that for that time being. Be busy, go do what you were going to do, and then you can actually do that 180, go back to talk to them, and then start with an opening line. So that's the 180 pass by, which is a good one. And with the opening line, you want it to be non-business related. So you want to really, the last thing you want to do is what most or a lot of salespeople do, is walk up and say, how can I help you today? What are you looking for? Can I point you in a direction? Something very related to that business. And it might even be the same if you're talking online. They're saying, hi, I'm interested in what you're doing, and then you just go straight into the proposition or whatever you're particularly selling at that time. So if you can put that aside for the time being and actually build a relationship and show them that you're a human being, then all resistance, or a lot of that resistance, will actually drop. So a good opening line, you can use things too, like say they're wearing a personalised shirt, they might have a sporting team, there might be an event, the Academy Awards or some big event on, there might be something related to your business. So I'm in a fitness industry, if there's a bodybuilding competition or something coming up, you can talk about whether they're thinking about going to that, or a big boxing match, if we've got the Gregor and McGregor fight coming up soon. So break that ice by sort of asking a question too. So you want to ask a question or make, I guess it's not going to give a one-word answer. So you want to ask something that they can elaborate on. So an example, instead of walking over and saying, that how's the weather, or gee, wet out there, they might just answer yeah, and then it's kind of like awkward. You might actually want to, little notifications popping up on my phone, you may want to go down the path of actually saying, oh, I noticed you've got an umbrella there, I was planning on going for a run after work today, do you think it'll be raining later on? Then rather than going, yes or no, they're more prompted to say, well, it's dark out there, but I think it's looking like clearing up, and then you can actually bridge into something else. Maybe say, oh, I see you've got a sailing hat on, do you own a boat? You know, whatever. And get that conversation going. And then they're thinking, oh, okay, this guy's not bad. He's not here to rush over and sell me something. So that's a bit of one to remember when you're doing an opening line. And what else have we got? So I guess having a conversation on a cellular level. So there's a good saying, it says, you know, great conversations lead to great relationships lead to greater sales. So always have that in mind. You've got 2 ears, 1 mouth, so you know, don't be waiting for that person to finish talking so you can then put your input in. Try and listen, let them finish fully, even tell me more about that, or get them to elaborate if you can, because it sounds awful, but it can be used almost as ammunition to help you help them. So when I say ammunition, it's probably the wrong word, but any information that they're giving you can help you. As I say, they've come to you for a reason. Very, very few times are they really just killing time. They're obviously, you know, you wouldn't walk into a sewing shop if you're just sitting in the car waiting for your partner and you've got no interest at all in sewing. That's the last thing I'd do. So, you know, if they're in, say, a shop like this, a fitness shop or something like that, they may have some sort of interest in that. So, yeah, and it may be to get a present. That's another thing. When you bridge into business questions, after you've done what we call the schmoozing that we were talking about them, their kids, their job, getting them talking about themselves, you then want to bridge into the actual business by asking a question like, what's brought you in today? Is this a celebration, depending on the shop that you're in? Are you looking for a gift, or is it something for yourself? So that's a good way to actually get them to start giving you an idea of what they're actually looking for, so then you can start helping them as well. And then similar if you're working online or something like that, once you've had a bit of a chat where they're from, what their passions are, how many kids they have, things like that, you can then ask sort of what drew you to my post or my offer, and then they might elaborate and say, you know, I need more income, or whatever it might be. That's that. Often at times their natural resistance may come up again. So even if you've done a fantastic job building that sort of initial relationship, having a good talk with them, you may find that when you do bridge into that business question by saying, so what's brought you in today, that they still go, oh look, I'm not buying, you know, definitely not buying today, I'm just having a bit of a browse around, killing time. So if you do get that, it's quite easy to just go and say, oh, okay, great, well, I'll back over into my corner over here, and I mean, not saying that. You may say, I'll just be over here, my name's Ryan anyway, I'll be over here in the corner, if you need me, just call out. And in your mind, you're sort of saying, oh, okay, you know, I don't know what you might be saying in your mind. We're all very different, but not the ideal thing to do. So if you can come back and actually give them what's called the takeaway and say to them, great, not a problem, you're only looking. Why don't we, you know, what might you be looking for? Maybe as an example. So try and get them to elaborate a bit more on that, rather than just saying, okay, no worries, I'll let you keep looking. Just say, you know, can be still friendly. You want to tread lightly with that one. But just say, look, you know, great, there's lots to look at in here. Did you have anything more in mind? Was it boxing you're wanting to look at? Are you thinking cardio? That sort of thing. Because I'm happy to take you over that way and just show you my favourite or whatever it might be. So don't give up when they say I'm just looking. The last thing you want to do is just give up and say, yep, okay, I'll just be over here doing nothing, twiddling my thumbs, and retreat away. I'll be mindful to wrap this up. We're nearly at 10 minutes, so I'll wrap this up now. I'm going to do more in this series because, you know, what seems obvious to me may help others. And I did a live on it last night as well, but wanted to put it on this platform. So just the last one, what was I going to say? I think that's about it, to be honest. So opening line, that sort of, I guess another thing is actually personal space. So I'll wrap up on that and just say, be mindful once you have done that maybe 180 pass by, or you've approached them. It may be from behind a counter or something like that. If that is the case, you're behind a counter, a display, a merchandise display, something like that, when it is person-to-person selling, again, look busy, be doing your thing. Make sure you make eye contact and say hello to them, and then go back to being busy again for a momentary time. Be mindful not to do it for minutes and keep them just standing there looking at you. But even, I won't put a time on it, but just be busy. A busy person or busy salesperson is a lot less intimidating, and that's why often people in hardware shops and things like that will find the busy person go up and they're happy to ask questions, because often they'll just give you an answer and go back to being busy again, and you think they're not going to try and sell me. I'd love your comments on this as well, people. If you've got comments, you're in a sales role or you've experienced this yourself, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. And yeah, I'll wrap this one up. But just quickly, actually, before I finish, on that one, once you're behind the barrier, you're behind the counter, whatever, you've made eye contact, said hello, gone back to being busy momentarily, then give them that opening line that's non-business related, get talking, but get that barrier out of the way, because salespeople stand behind counters and barriers. People want to connect with you as a person, so get out from that counter and be mindful of their personal space. So at the start, maybe give 4 or 5 feet between you, until you've sort of gauged how comfortable that person is to get closer. They'll sort of naturally do it with their body language. So there's a few little tips on Sales Training 101, and yeah, I'll wrap this one up. I didn't want it to go this long, but hey, it's happened, and I'll do some more in the series. Feel free to drop a comment, and yeah, hope you have a fantastic day.